Hello and welcome to my little bookish corner of the internet. My name's Harriet. Today I'm going to be sharing the books that I read in the month of April. There aren't too many, to be perfectly honest with you. I went back to work this month, so I haven't had that much time to read. But there are some books on here that I haven't spoken about before on my channel, so I'm excited to show you them. So the first books that I read this month after finishing the first book in the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin, the Game of Thrones book, I started on the Hush Hush series by Becca Fitzpatrick. Now, I remember reading books 1 and 2 quite clearly from when I was younger, and then the third one I think I finished, but I didn't really remember any of it when I was reading, and I definitely never read the fourth one. So I was excited to start on these. I got them secondhand for £5 off of Facebook Marketplace, and the first one is the one that I remember the most from when I was younger, when I was a teen. It was just good, angsty, cheesy teen romance about a young girl called Nora Gray, and she falls in love with a fallen angel. And his name is Patch, and it's basically just them and their relationship together and what happens when Nora is pulled into the world of the fallen angels. It was a good first book. I rated it, I think, 3 stars on Goodreads. I was trying to look at these books without too many memories attached to them so that I could rate them properly. So I think it was probably a 3-star. It wasn't anything special, but I did enjoy reading it, and Patch is a really, really good character. I really enjoyed reading about him. Then we get on to the second book. So this is Crescendo, and this book touches a lot more on Nora Gray's past and what happens when her and Patch are drawn apart from each other. And this was a lot more high-paced. I found it really interesting. Again, I think I only gave this 3 stars. It was good, but it wasn't great. And I don't know if I will honestly read any of these ever again, but it was nice to revisit them. And then the third book, Silence, this one was a slog to get through. I didn't really enjoy it. Nora in this is completely different to how she is in the first 2 books, and that was really strange for me. I know there's something that happens in the start of this book that obviously would change her, but the way she acts in this is not how I'd expect someone who's been through that experience to act. It was just a bit weird, and I didn't really enjoy the way that she was written in this. Patch is still really cool though. He's probably my favourite characters out of all of the books, or maybe Scott. I will say I'm not a big fan of the love triangle trope, and that is kind of in this one a little bit, and sort of in the second one as well. But this one was just okay. Again, I think it was 3 stars. I didn't like the way that Nora was written in this, so I found it really hard to get through. And then the final book did get a little bit better. So Finale. Nora is a little bit less annoying in this. She's kind of coming to her own a little bit, and she knows who she is. Patch, again, wonderful character. There are some twists and turns in this one as well that honestly I didn't really see coming until about halfway through the book. Again, not the best book or series that I've ever read, but it was alright, and it was nice to revisit them from my teen years. And they are pretty easy to read books, apart from that third one, which I found really difficult to get through. They are easy to read, and it's not like there's any complicated language or anything in there. So yeah, if you're looking for some cheesy, fun, angsty teen romance with a little bit of paranormal mixed in there, then I would recommend reading these. So they are the first 4 books that I read in the month of April, and then I got some on my Kindle. I definitely bought more than I could actually read on here, but that's fine because you can just read them whenever. Okay, so I read Insatiable by Daisy Buchanan. This was a really good book. I believe I rated it 4 stars. It's basically following our main character and how they get pulled into this couple that promises them all these wonderful things, and they essentially have these big sex parties with all their friends, and the main character is invited, but sometimes she feels like she's getting in the way a little bit, and she's not sure why, and then the reasons why slowly unravel, so we follow them through that and their emotions and how they feel like they never belong. It was very hard-hitting, and I did get a couple of quotes from it that really resonated with me. I thought it was a really good read. It's definitely very steamy, so I wouldn't recommend it for anyone that's not a fan of that, but there were some really strong points made within it, and I thought the ending was really lovely as well. So even though it is steamy and sometimes a little bit hard to read, there is a little bit of romance towards the end, which was really lovely. And then I also started The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Steve Brucetti. That has been really interesting. I just haven't had the time to read any more. I'm only 7% of the way through. It is a big book. Yeah, I've not been doing great, to be honest, with my reading. I've really struggled because I am back at work now, finding the time to film, edit, also upload to my Bookstagram and also just read in my spare time has been really hard. But the main thing is that when I do read, I am still really enjoying it. Apart from when I fall asleep because it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm trying to read a book. It just doesn't happen. But The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs is basically like a history book all about dinosaurs and fossils and about the beginning of the earth and the different creatures that were around back then. And it has got lots of pictures in there as well, so I have been really enjoying that. I definitely find myself leaning a little bit more towards non-fiction at the moment. I'm not entirely sure. I just have this urge to learn about things, which is definitely good. And then the final book, I know I didn't read a lot this month. Oh no, this isn't the final book. And then I also read a short story by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and that was Evidence of the Affair. And this book was really interesting because the story is told through letters between the different characters. I found that really cool to read on the Kindle because you have the different fonts and it was easy to just swipe through. It was a super quick read. I think I literally read it in about 30-40 minutes. I couldn't put it down. It was amazing. It's basically these two main characters and they are corresponding with each other because their partners are having affairs with each other. So they are kind of talking to each other and building up a friendship. And it was just amazing. I did cry. I don't know how Taylor Jenkins Reid manages to create characters that are so rich in such a short amount of time. It's crazy. But this was a 4-star read for me simply because I wanted it to be longer. If it was a little bit longer, there was a bit more to it, I would have definitely given it 5 stars. It was great. And if you're looking for an easy read, something to read at night or maybe in the garden, something that's not too heavy, I definitely recommend reading that. And then the last book on this list, I know I didn't read an awful lot this month, but that's okay, is A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin, the second book in the A Song of Ice and Fire series. I am currently 126 pages through this. I read quite a lot yesterday in the garden with my partner. He wasn't reading this, he is reading Red Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson. Someone found those editions for both of us on my previous video, and thank you so much. They are in the post currently, so we haven't seen if they are the right ones or not, but they look like they're going to be. They weren't the cheapest. I think we paid about £50, including the shipping because they came from the US. But we have them, so yay! Anyway, yes, this book. It starts off really weird. The prologue in this, if you've read this, you'll probably know. To me, it felt like a different book. There was a strange character in there that we are introduced to very briefly. I don't know if they're going to come up in the rest of the story. I kind of hope not because I didn't really love them. But yeah, the prologue felt very separate to the rest. The rest of the book so far is literally written the same as the first one is, but the prologue is very different. So I don't know why. It took me a really long time to get through the prologue, and then the rest I've just smashed through. So I'm excited to continue with this, and I am still really enjoying it. Where I am at the moment, we are still just following Jon, Arya, Tyrion and Sansa, and that's pretty much it. But I know that Daenerys is one of the next chapters to come up, so I'm excited to continue. Okay, and that is it for the books that I read in the month of April. Let me know down below if you've read any of these and what you thought, or if they are on your TBR. And also let me know what your favourite book of this month was. I think out of all of these, honestly, I want to say that Evidence of the Affair is up there. I haven't finished A Clash of Kings yet, so I can't say, but I do think that will probably be my favourite. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm off to work now, and it's going to be a long shift. But I do have a whole week booked off for my birthday soon, which is great. So I'll be able to get plenty of videos filmed while I'm not celebrating with my family and my friends. But yes, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!